Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday, June the 6th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and it's just another crazy high volatility, highly volatile type trading day, and the volume's high, the volatility's high. So, you know, the only way really that I see, somebody actually sent me an email and says, "Hey, I hadn't watched any videos in a while, and I just kind of started back again recently, and it seems like you draw a whole lot more lines." And the reason for that is the fact that the volatility is so high and the moves are so big that it's really hard to figure out what's going on without drawing these shorter term trend lines. And I think what it is, we're still drawing the shorter term. I think I've always probably drawn, we wouldn't have called this a short-term trend before. It would have been the major trend. It would have taken a lot longer, and we wouldn't have had maybe a bigger pattern, to look at. But you can see it looks like a trading range, but there's really a downtrending channel here too, and we overshot it to the low side. Then we finally broke it and overshot it to the high side, and then we sell off. And man, this was a move, and this was a great move and made some money on that. Then we break lower, and then we test that line a couple of times, come right back and go. And now we've been in this channel all the way up, and we're still trading up at this point. We overshot it here, so we'll probably overshoot it to the downside. I don't know. We may still go higher, and we may just get back in the range and stay within this range. But the only way to really know what's going on is to use your shorter term trend lines, and until you figure out exactly where you're going, and just follow them. And we'll back out and I'll show you what I saw and how what I was looking at. But we started out, when I came in, we had this channel right here, and we were working down around 7:15 when I got here, and we broke higher. And only reason I like this trade is it's a breakout pullback short, but it's a failed. Let me get a little further out where you can see a little better. But notice you're working down, and we were in this range, so it's a failed break out of the range. And then you got a first entry long pullback, and notice we made a new low here, and then another chance to go up. So that's a failed second entry long that trapped shorts, and then we turned down. And so what I did was drop a limit order in here, and it did come back, but we came right back to the I don't really have that drawn quite steep enough right across there. So notice we came back and tested the line again. So there was another chance to enter there, and that's really just another test of a breakout pullback, because then we kind of had some more lows here. The first one was breaking out of this, and then this one was when we broke below these lows. And you got to be thinking at this point, hey, we're probably coming to test these lows. And look at that move down. And great move. You don't know that it's going to do this, but just stay with it. We came back and tested the trend line again here, but by this time we're down here at these lows, too much overlap. Even though you could have taken this and gone short, I just thought it was too risky. And this was, and I didn't see any way to get long here either, other than the fact that it's a failed break lower, and I would have wanted to wait for a second entry on that after a move down like that, but you didn't get it. And actually what I'm going to do is, because it is a valid entry, it's a really aggressive one, but it's a valid entry, so I'm going to mark it. If you tried to use a limit order, you didn't get filled. Unless you just got filled at the top of this bar. And I really didn't have this line here yet. As soon as that finished, I kind of drew it across those closes right there, and it looked like it fit pretty well, but I wasn't completely sure, because you got the support right there, the low of the possible range, and it's about a measured. It went about as far below as it did above. It might have gone a little further above, but then it reverses. So, and that's an aggressive trade, but man, it was a pretty one, but I just didn't see, and there really was a trap right here, but I didn't like entering right there. It's just too much overlap. Plus, I'd actually drawn a little line here, and there's a little channel here that started. It looked like it might be a spiking channel. And so there's a couple different ways to look at this here, and I'm going to put them both on there because people always ask me about this. They'll see the other thing, and somebody, a couple of people yesterday sent me theirs, and they had a little different channel working down yesterday, but they still came to the same conclusion I did. So you don't have to get it just right. You can't be completely wrong, but you don't have to get it just right to do this. So, but needless to say, we had this little spike in the channel, and so you could have looked at this either way. But if even on the break of this channel, then we had a couple of legs up, and then we kind of sold off. But then you had the break of the channel, however you were looking at it. And again, this was a little risky going long down here, in my opinion. But we had it's a second entry long that triggered, not a really good setup, and then it broke lower and then turned higher. And so that made a short trap. So if you saw that, you could have gone long there, figuring that we'll probably at least, come back up here and test these lows, because normally there's always a breakout pullback, and we hadn't had that yet. We broke straight out of there, and we never came back and kind of tested this. So, but of course it just goes higher, and then you got to think, well, hey, we're probably coming back to test these highs up here. And by that time, I kind of still had this line down here. I drug it up to the top. I didn't know exactly where it was going to set up, but based on my short-term trend line, we had the break either way at a new high. And so, but this was a little aggressive, but it's also the back at the top of the range of what started as the range, and you got a reversal bar. I would have used a limit order. I did use a limit order here. Only way you want to enter on that. That leaves you enough room to get out before you get back to the EMA. And guess what? It bounces right off the EMA, but then it doesn't go higher. It turns down. And so that's a second entry short, and I felt like that was worth taking. Easy scalp. And then it comes right back and gets the runners, unfortunately. But now you got a failed second entry long that's a trap, and so you can go short down here, and really with that overlap, again, you might want to drop a little limit order, a tick or so back into that bar. You would have got filled at least a tick. You could have used a stop here, though, because it is a trap, and now you're expecting prices to try to come back down here, and guess where they come to? And then, boom, it's off to the races. They come back and get the runners. But that's a two-legged pull back to the EMA with a big reversal bar. It scared me a little bit when it made this doji, because maybe the lows are right here and not down here. But it turns back down. Actually, you get a little trap there. It turns back down. This is not a great trap, but we made a lower low and then a lower high. And it's a second entry short right there, but I didn't like that one. And that's coming off the top. We were getting a little bit too low then, and you never know when you're going to bounce. You might bounce right here, and it looked like it might at first, but it worked its way on through. Another two-legged pullback, but now we've had the break of this little channel and a new low, so I didn't see any reason to go short there. It's not really a good setup. There was a failed second entry long there, so there's a trap. And again, I didn't mark it because I didn't take it. But I'm going to change that one to green because it is a failed second entry long, and there is plenty of room to get out before you come back down here. And you don't know if this channel's right. We're coming all the way down here. But we found a double bottom. We went up. We made a higher low right here. I got this channel right here working off the highs. I think I originally had it a little higher like that right there, and that's probably even right, but I tightened it a little bit to catch this move. But either way you do it, it still fits down here. You can see that. Still the same line. It's supposed to be anyway. Let's correct it. And you can see that there, it fits pretty well. And then you got your break. Failed second entry short that trapped, so a chance to go long there. But we were so close to this possible line that I was really leery of this one. But it's a second entry long, a failed breakout pullback short. So if you took that one, great trade, but again, I was leery of it. So you can see there's, I didn't, I missed a couple of them in here because I was a little bit leery. I got a little confused right here. I wasn't sure what was going on. And so when you don't know what's going on, don't take a trade. Turns out I was right with my channel, but we broke higher. And I didn't see any reason to be going short up here until we got the trap. And this is almost identical setup to what we got yesterday before the market sold off. Prices broke higher. We got up here near the highs. First entry long, pull back, second entry long, and then it turned straight back down. I went short right there. Took a minute to get moving. Man, it just really sold off. Then, of course, you get a failed second entry long. Turns back down, and another easy move. And your runners are safe on either one of these. Goes lower. Then you get a two-legged pullback to the EMA. And, we broke below this now. We broke below this. It's a breakout pullback short right here from across this, from this right here. And you can see that. And look at that bearish bar. And if you use the limit order at the end or anywhere back up in there, you didn't get filled. But I just went ahead and entered on this one and added on. And I didn't know how far we were going to go. But when we got down here and I moved this line down, and when we to right there, coming across these lows at that point, I think I had it just like that, and it touches right there. And so when this, I just started pulling my stop down above each bar, and boom, so I got out right in here somewhere. And that turned out to be a great move. And then we finally got the break, and I was looking for a retest here. I really thought we'd come back down and make a retest, but that was all we could do. This market, it was done by that time. But we did have a break up here, and guess what? We've got a new low. So that's good enough. And when you get this little reversal pattern here, we're making higher highs, and then we make this trap right here. There really was a long right there, but I felt it was really risky. Let me back up because there was a short here. I waited on the second entry because there was a lot of overlap. It's a breakout pullback short, second entry short, and I was looking for a retest. Easy scalp, didn't get anything more out of that one. And really there was a trap right here too. I didn't take it, but I'm gonna mark it because I should have taken it. Right there. And you can see we made a new low, first entry, pull back, second entry. There's plenty of room to get out before you get back up here. And so I should have taken that one. And there wasn't any other chance to get in until right here. And then, of course, it was easy to find the line off the top, but I didn't know where it was off the lows. So, I just kept dragging it down. You can see that's the same line. I drug it down to here at first. Then I drug it to here. I think what I did was I would draw it right through there. And so that's a second entry long. It's a failed breakout below that little double bottom right there. So this is one I used a limit order in. I just dropped it a tick back into this one because it didn't close quite on its high, and I got lucky and got filled on that one. At first I didn't know if it was going to go higher, but it took a little while. And I didn't want to enter again anywhere in here because of this line, but we did have the break in the new low. But man, it's just this thing's been so crazy that I just don't think it was worth entering anywhere right in there. But when we came, and plus I wasn't sure if we weren't going to make a double top here and a retest of this and go lower, but we broke on higher, and then we had a failed second entry long that looked like it was going to trap people. It was like this one, but by this time, you might have even got trapped there. If you did, you should have reversed when this went higher. But by this time, I drug this line down like that, and we were bouncing right off of it. And you can see that fits a little better. It held prices here and here, and it held them again here. And so I was a little bit leery of taking a short on this one. As bad as I wanted to, because it looked just like this pattern. It's worked a few times lately. But you couldn't dismiss that we might have put in a new low and we were making higher highs and higher lows. So there's, no real break of this channel, and I wasn't sure if it still wasn't right there. So, and that may be where it was, but it kind of creeped higher as you can see that it kind of creeped a little higher. And that seems to fit real well, and that was holding that price, and then that held this one. And so with that trap there, I felt like it was worth going long. We'd probably at least come back and test this high. That's where we went. It looked like it was going to sell off, and it just kept going higher. But I was done by that time. I just, at that point, I'm thinking, I guess we're going back to test this high. And now we've even gone through. Oh, wait, I forgot we'd moved it up here. The high is really there. Now we've even gone through that high. So this thing's still working higher. We did overshoot this channel here, but we haven't had a real break of this yet. So there's no reason to be thinking short until we do. And so just another long day with lots of trades, and you have to get it right or you're going to be, the problem is you can't afford to be wrong and try to hope that it's going to turn back down at these places. So draw your short term, and you can see that right here. You had this channel working up, you got a break, two legs up, and then that reversal bar. And so that was back up here to the original channel, and that was why I really liked going short. That was the only reason I really liked going short right there, because I felt like there were trap people and it was off this channel. But when it didn't go anywhere past here, then you had to be still thinking long. And again, I wasn't sure what was going to happen right in here, so I didn't like any trades until we came back and tested it and had the trap right there, and then it went higher. And really you could have gone long right here, but I just thought it was too risky, and really I was done by that time, so I didn't mark anything past 1 o'clock there. So, but that's what I saw today. Crazy day. I don't know any other way to put it. My guess is we'll probably go as much higher as we did below here. But that's a heck of a reversal. That's what I would call a reversal day. Doesn't mean that we're going to go higher tomorrow, but for today, that's a reversal day. So maybe the sell-off is over, and we'll continue to go higher from here. We'll just have to see what happens. But I hope you had a good trading day, and I hope it's been a good week for you so far, and we'll come back and wrap up the week tomorrow. We'll give you a heads up. I'm going to be going to Brazil on the 14th and be gone for a couple of weeks, so won't be any videos coming up after that point. So, but I'll remind you as we get closer to it, and I'll be a little slower at answering emails. I probably won't answer any emails except for critical business stuff, and I usually come in and I usually carry my laptop, so I'm able to answer emails just to make sure there's nothing critical going on out there. People that try to download manuals and have problems, but that's probably the only kind of stuff I'll address while I'm gone. So, but again, I'll give you a heads up and a reminder before we get there. So, but I will ask you while I'm gone, don't send me any emails because they'll probably be backed up with 100 emails. Just wait till I get back, and we'll start fresh when I get back. But again, I'll remind you before I go, and I do this every year. I go for a couple of weeks down there, and so. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.